Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're taking a look at the last song for the EP project that I've got going on. This one is my personal favorite. I tried to go as slow as possible to really fit the style of lo-fi chill music that we're trying to aim for. Anyway, let's take a look at the song right now. Okay, so we'll start here with the percussions. The first thing we're going to look at are the kick and snare. We can see I also have a hi-hat track here, but I didn't end up using it. I tried a bunch of different things, but nothing was really fitting. We can listen. So this is the hi-hat. Tried a bunch of things with it, but didn't feel right, and the beat feels slower when you don't have a hi-hat. So that's one of the main reasons why I didn't use one. Next, we have those claps here. They're just layering the snare, and what they're doing is it's often used in lo-fi. We're playing on top of the beat. So what happens is we have the claps going on just a little bit earlier, and the snare hitting right on time. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this part. I have a bunch of different percussions. I just loaded a bunch, like, I don't know, like 10 of them, and we can hear them here. I'm not using all of them, just some of them, really just to taste. Like we can see on the track, there's nothing even, nothing following other tracks. It's just at points I'm using some and just really going to taste with this. And it's pretty much this the whole way through, different percussions at different times. I have this, called it Snapper. I'm kind of using it as a hi-hat, although it's not following the beat. It's pretty slow, and it's pretty much playing on its own, but it's kind of acting like a hi-hat just because it's very bright and very high. Very subtle in the mix. And yeah, this pretty much covers the percussions. Next, we can look at the rhythm. Alright, so the first thing I'll talk about for the rhythm is this organ right here. This organ is actually a MIDI loop that I modified quite a bit, and something I'm doing with it is it's not really looping the same way every time, because each measure I'm changing just a small little something, a note here, a note there, just to make it's a loop, but at the same time it's always unique. It's never playing the same thing. And yeah, we can also hear at the start this kind of rising effect. I tried to do sort of like a tape start effect or tape stop effect. I'm also using this at the very end. Just adding a nice little something to start and to finish a song. Next, we can talk about this bass here. This bass was pretty hard to tackle because I had to automate the volumes just so that it fit exactly where I wanted it to. But it's a good thing that I did this, because this way I could also automate some bass rises and a bunch of different stuff to keep the bass interesting at all points in the song. And later in the song, I'm also using this bass to really rise some notes. can see just right at the end, there's a rise. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the rhythm section. Next, I normally look at the leads, but this song, the organ was kind of covering this because it's always a bit different, just switching everything. I think we can jump right at the ambience instead. So first ambience track I'll talk about, it's actually a VST instrument that I used just to do some super wide pads, some super slow pads. And I printed it because I wanted to edit it. And so I'm looping over it. And at some points I'm doing cuts like we can see here. And yeah, I have also some panning automations and some tremolo automations. I'm really just trying to make the pad really fly around in the mix, really just give a cool little ambience. And if we go later, so it's very subtle, but just giving a cool little texture to the song. Next thing I'll talk about, it's actually putting a cassette in a cassette player and just pressing play. And I'm also using a vinyl afterward. I know vinyls don't do the sound that cassettes do, but we're just trying to get a vibe here, so we can't go super technical into it. And it's just giving this little feeling that we're putting a cassette in and starting it to play. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the ambient side for this song. Next, we can look at the highlights. So the first highlight track I'll talk about is this guitar. It's actually layering with the piano. It's a clean tone with a lot of reverb and delay, just making it super wide. And I'm not playing it every time the piano is playing, just at a certain point. And I also used this guitar chain midway through the song. I'm using it here, just playing some chords over the rest of the track. Super wide, super smooth, just really felt good. Then I have a bunch of different risers and some release tracks too. All they're doing is I really just added them to taste, and they all have a different pitch, different length, different fade in, fade out. They're just really marking the transitions to make the song flow better. Instead of just cutting there and like you don't know what happened, you have the small rising that's just going to say, hey, something's about to happen. So it's really just rises like that, a bunch of different places in the song. Sometimes they're even used not for transitions, just to spice up the mix a little bit. And I also have this release track here. It's a very classic house type of release, just some white noise fading away. And I'm using it at a bunch of different places in the song. And again, just changing the pitch depending where I'm at. Changing the length too. And that's pretty much it for this song. We can listen to the whole thing now. I'm stopping here as usual. This was the last song of the EP, and next week we're going to work on mastering the whole thing so that it's cohesive. I chose not to mix everything super in depth, just because I think for this style it's not really something we should aim for. Just following the name of the style, lo-fi, I don't think it would make sense to mix everything super precisely. Although while working in the writing sessions, I do a lot of things just to make everything fit together. You've seen it in the previous videos, low passing, high passing, just filtering everything so that everything fits together. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week where we work on the mastering of the EP.